Welcome to S3a Me, an interdisciplinary approach to community outreach by way of video interview, music production, and performance. Today we are going to meet Mari in Penvern.
See me as I rise up, see me watch me climb up, see me do it all. See me
Nice to
meet
you.
Yes.
Nice to meet you. So, Marine, our first question is, what brought you to Hudson?
Well, so I came to Hudson about 20 and some years ago, and I fell in love with the landscape, the light felt really familiar to me, like home, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it always was a place for me to come back to, and then I live here. I never thought I'd live in New York City, really. But then, 10 years later, I'm looking at opening another place, and it's too expensive for independent designer like me. Nobody can do it. So the sensible move was to move to Hudson. You know, and I've come here for the last 12 years, on and off. Like after my son was born, when he was 6 months old, I came into the area in the woods for 5 years, but never left New York City completely. And then 2 years ago, I decided that I had to make the leap, you know, to come here and open an atelier because I could do it here.
Yeah.
And it's been lovely, really.
Yeah. What does that mean to you to carry that title, you know, atelier?
Well, an atelier is a workplace in French, you know, and I'm French.
Mm-hmm.
And an atelier also in fashion refers to the place where handmade clothes are produced, and so that's what it is. You know?
Right, yeah. No, I really appreciate that, you know, because your designs are so unique and so original, and they really come from, you know, your brand, like, you know what I mean? It comes from your vibration, from your art, which is really interesting and beautiful to see, and also hold that title, because it goes in that time.
Well, an atelier is a workplace for artists.
Right.
Artists have an atelier.
Right.
And I'm an artist.
Right.
So that's the first thing that comes to mind.
What inspires you to create? Because you kind of have like a multi-dimensional space of art. You know, you kind of step into painting, visual, you know, you have the textile, the clothing, you have the photography, you have the essential oils.
You know, when I wake up in the morning, I'm going to make breakfast. That breakfast is going to look the best, you know. And every morning, it's a creative person would be creative in anything that person would do. I have many interests, you know. I started as a painter. First I was making collage when I was a little kid. I was just scissors in hand and cutting out magazines, and I would make collage. And then I took that to the fabric when I was a little older, like 7, 8, when I got my first sewing machine. So I would make stuff like this for my grandmother, like collage on fabric, but sewing, representing landscapes. That's what I would do. And portraits. And for my grandmother, yeah. And then so when I was a teenager, I started painting. And I've painted ever since. Yeah. Much less now because I'm, you know, making a painting and making a piece of clothing. It takes so much time, so I make more clothes than painting. But I draw. I keep a practice of drawing regularly. So what inspires me? Well, it's a big question. Life inspires me to create. My relationship with people. music,
Mhm.
you know, so many things. Good
Yeah.
food, like a taste,
Mhm.
a movie, a piece of music, a color,
Mhm.
a shape.
Right.
My fears also,
Mm.
you know, and pain also. I wouldn't say it inspires me, but a lot of you know, creation can be uh, the expression of that,
Mm.
of the fear, of the
Right.
pain, you know.
Right. Yeah, in some ways I kind of see it also as like the release, you know?
Yeah.
Like, because there's so
Oh, for
much,
sure.
yeah, there's I feel like
For
this,
sure.
in artists, what I always find is there's so much like magic in there. Like,
Yeah.
there's so much light within that spirit and that soul that, you know, in times of like, you know, depression and anger and you know, all the
Yeah.
negative aspects, but also the positive, you know, the joy, the, you know, feeling the love of family and
Yeah.
community, they can all kind of like ignite some kind of like form, like
Yeah,
waves.
and you know, two recent examples I can give you about. I had a terrible headache once, terrible, and I was in the right circumstances to draw
Mhm.
and paint, and I did this crazy painting, and then also I had an injury, and I was painting a lot to counter the pain. That was quite the only thing I could, you know, because like painting or drawing, we kind of stop time, and then you know the pain stops. Like we're not. I mean, I think it happens for others
Yeah.
too, you know.
Mhm.
But for me, that's the only way through those two extremely painful.
Mm.
And then childbirth, you know, the greatest of their creation through so much pain.
Mm.
So here we go, you know,
Yeah.
life, you know,
Yeah.
life with all its, you know, what makes a life, you know, pain
Yeah.
and joy.
Yeah, it's all of it. All of it. You're absolutely right. It would be nice if you share a little bit of where you're from.
So I'm from this planet Earth, where I was born. So I was born in Paris, France, and I grew up in Brittany, France. And then I moved to New York City when I was quite young. And so this is my parkour.
Mm-hmm.
When I go back to France, for example, they ask me where I'm from.
Mm.
So,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
where am I from?
Right.
Now, you know, I'm from this place right
Yeah,
now.
you're from the planet Earth, which is how I often see it as well.
There is a cultural aspect of it too. What culture you're from, you know, and that belongs to a place.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right.
yeah.
Um,
My father is Celt.
mm-hmm.
My mother is French.
Mm-hmm.
I distinct the two.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a hybrid of that.
Okay.
Yeah, culturally.
Cool. Knowing where you're from, where are you going? But also, I mean, like, where are you going in a sense of your creativity and your art and your manifestations? Like, where do you see yourself going in that?
Just want to be going to a state of grace as I get older and die peacefully with all the love.
Yeah.
And then in the process of that, keep creating.
Yeah. What do you like to listen to? What is your sound frequency, and then why? Why do you feel? What makes you feel like this is a the right alignment for your soul when you listen to it?
Well, now that I'm here, I love to listen to what I'm listening now. The insects in the trees, the birds, conversation between people. To listen to nature, really, it's like time stops. It's the best place to be. And maybe that's why I love that so much.
And we often forget, that there's a whole orchestra
Oh yeah.
right here.
And then we have the thunderstorms, the rain,
and the thunderstorms.
all that stuff, and then music. I love music so much. So I listen to a lot of music. And also I listen to a lot of music that I have inside.
How would you like to see the evolution of Hudson? Because the city is changing so fast. And, just curious to know, how do you see the evolution of our community?
Well, I think I see it as first I think I see this community to be really diverse, and I feel like the evolution of this city, because it's called a city actually, and it's called, in the Wikipedia, if you look it up, it's the friendly city. So the friendly city is a big community of people all working together, and I think that I see Hudson as becoming this, and I want it to become this as a model of a progressive town in this country, and that's what we need,
Yeah, I 1000% agree with you.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's what I see Hudson becoming, and I hope it would become that.
What do you feel like is missing? Like, what is missing? What are missing pieces that you feel that exist in Hudson that, maybe there's a journey of finding it, but do you see any missing pieces here?
Well, I think that there are a lot of young people in Hudson, and there's no place for them to hang out, really. So I think there is a need for arts, community arts center in Hudson, a place for kids to come, and a place big enough for kids to dance, rehearse, mingle, exchange ideas, roller skate, hula hoop, all be together doing whatever they want to do. A place that is not on the street and not at home, but just a community arts center. And there are spaces in Hudson, like that beautiful building across the street from me.
Yeah, there are a lot of
sitting there. A large space, and I
wonder if that's something the city can do.
Yeah, if enough of us wants that, right? That's how it works, right?
I think so. I'm not sure. We're gonna find out when I do the interview with the mayor. How do you want people to see you? Like, what are the things that you want people to see you and to recognize when they?
How do I want people to see me?
Yeah.
Well, as I am. I mean, that's as I am right here. It's me. So I want people to see me as a person, as a woman who always wanted to be independent and to live my life the way I want to live my life, and to do the things that I love. But I want people to know that I'm built myself pretty much from the ground up. Like is that ground up?
Yeah.
I left my home. I'm a what they call here in this country emancipated teen. I left home really early, like 10 years old.
Oh,
And boarding school at 10 and 14 I was out of there and on my own. So, I want people to see me as somebody who is where I am at now, still standing, because of all the incredible people I met all through my life, those relationships. And I think that those relationships, because of those relationships and those great encounters, I'm the person who I am. I carry those past lives and those people with me, and I'm all of that, and that's who I am.
thank you for
Oh,
sharing.
thank you, Ganda.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank
Sorry.
you.
And
Thank you.
yes.
I love you so much.
See me